Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is John Maris-Coots, and I am the coordinator of the California Career Resource Network program, also known as CalCRN, at the California Department of Education. This will be a brief workshop to give you an overview of all of the resources that CalCRN provides for free across the state to support career exploration and planning amongst our students. We're going to take a look at all of our resources, plus provide you some tips for how to begin using them. So let's begin with our homepage. Our homepage at www.californiacareers.info is orientated towards educators. We have a variety of resources to help educators begin using our tools with students and to engage them in the career exploration journey. The two things I want to highlight on the website are the quick starts section, which includes activities for all of our web and mobile apps, plus some student workbooks. Amongst the web activities are really one-off activities for our California Career Center that we'll look at in a moment, California Career Zone that we're also going to take a look at, and My Stuff at Job Central that we will take a look at. We won't be reviewing the mobile apps today, but I will be having a little more to say about them. So we have activities to help engage students in using Career Surfer, My Stuff CAP, and My Stuff Job Central. We also provide 3 student workbooks. Exploring Career Options is an introduction to career exploration and planning for young people with an interest assessment, then some tips about what they could do in school and training to prepare for an occupation, to help them choose an occupation that matches their interests and might be a good fit for them in the future. Find and Get the Right Job is a job hunt guide for first-time job hunters, so oriented towards high school students and other early job seekers. Succeed at Work provides some tips about basic employability skills that are important for success in the workplace. The other big feature on our home site for educators is our career and college readiness lesson plans. The core of these lessons are 45 lessons spread across grades 5 through 12 with 5 or 6 lessons per grade. We are still in process of updating some of the Spanish handouts, but soon all of the handouts will be available in both English and Spanish. So the lessons are flexible across grade levels, with the lower grades a little more focused on self-discovery, and then the upper grades really more focusing on helping young people develop a career action plan or a post-secondary plan for life after high school. We also have added a couple of distance learning lessons, with the primary difference being a more robust student lesson packet that can be handed out to them to help guide them through the process. Exploring Career Options provides an offline activity where students make use of the Exploring Career Options workbook. The Matching Interests and Careers lessons provides an online activities where students are going to make use of the California Career Zone. I think an easy way to begin using either of these resources, but starting with the lessons, is to perhaps just make use of these distant learning lessons, deciding whether your situation at this time calls for providing a remote lesson without internet access where students can complete a workbook and then share the results with you, or providing them with a lesson they can engage in on their own that is online, and again, making use of the California Career Zone. To back up for one moment, again, to think about how to get started using these resources, you could just choose any of these quick start activities, assign it to a student, and have them complete the activity in their own time and then return the worksheet to you. They're generally one-page handouts with directions for the activity to complete. There are some other interesting things to know about on our home website. On the Quick Starts page, there's also a one-page overview of all of CalCRN's resources. And on the home page, there's a quick resource guide that provides a little more detail about all of the lessons that are available to you. You can also find links to all of our resources, as well as a link for more information about all of our mobile apps. So that's our home site for the California Career Resource Network, again, oriented towards educators or other adults working with students. The first student-facing resource I'd like to highlight is called the California Career Center at www.calcareercenter.org. We developed the Career Center as kind of a virtual counselor. That is, it's to support students and educators, but especially students if they're in a setting where maybe they don't have the best access to a counselor or to an adult to help them figure out the whole career exploration and planning process. But it's also provided as a resource to teachers, counselors, any educator who is attempting to work with students and help them better navigate high school and prepare for life after high school. There's two primary components to this site. There's the content section, where students are provided with links and resources to help them navigate that middle into high school journey, as well as to succeed in high school. Career Options provides ways for them to explore careers as well as to consider career paths that maybe they wouldn't have been aware of, such as engaging in skilled trades. Getting a job is just a beginning resource for helping any new job seeker obtain a job. Education and training inform students about all of the post-secondary education and training options. Awesome if all of our kids could go to college, but the reality is that for many of them, a better option could be entering the military or entering an apprenticeship to get trained in the skilled trades. So what we hope to do with resources such as this is make students aware of all post-secondary options so they can make a choice that works best for them. Challenges addresses the challenges that many of our students face, whether they're LGBTQ students or migrant students or foster youth. We provide links to information and resources that speak directly to the students facing those challenges in the hope that they can find some support and know that they're not alone in their journey, that there's others who've been there and others who want to provide support. Money management is beginning financial literacy. So tools and resources to help them begin to understand money and figure out how to best be prepared to manage money as they begin making money in the workforce. The other big piece of this site is the My Stuff student account. All of these resources we're covering today are free for students and educators. So this is a free student account that a student can set up on their own at any time and keep it as long as they want. There is no expiration date on any of our resources. They're available to students as long as we're here and as long as they want them. Within their student account, the Explore option, the site provides pages of content within the site based on the reasons they indicated they were using the site when they set up their profile. The high school plan provides a template for really a middle school student to make a plan for high school. The career action plan provides a template for creating a post-secondary plan that we call a career action plan. This plan is also linked to the My Stuff CAP app. That CAP in the app stands for Career Action Plan. So students can create, edit, revise, share their plans either via their mobile app or here inside the website. We recommend that they start their plan inside the website because there's more information to help them complete a career action plan. The website provides full directions for each one of the sections of the plan to help them understand what it means when we say explore occupations 1, which is looking at interests. The second way to look at occupations in this plan is to create a budget and look at lifestyle goals. Then we ask them to choose an occupation to research, figure out what degrees or certifications is required to enter that occupation, where to earn that certification or training or degree, get them to think about things they're doing now that could impact their future thinking and experiences they've had that already are pointing them in a career direction. Then to get them to think about what could they do in the future while they're in high school or after high school in the community. What are things they could do that could prepare them for the occupation they're interested in? Who is available to support them, whether it's counselors, teachers, folks in other organizations, and then what can they begin doing to start moving in the direction of the occupation they're interested in. Plan B has them think about explore a second occupational goal, just for whatever reason, if plan A doesn't pan out, just that notion of having another way to move forward, and then what resources were important. They can go back and update, revise these plans as often as they want, again, either online or via their phones, and then they can download and share them with someone else for review and support. We're going to take a look at Job Central in just a moment, but continuing inside the Career Center, the favorites page is just a common section you'd find where they can bookmark content to keep track for coming back to the site. Documents provides them with an online portfolio where they can upload career-related documents, as many documents as they want. Lessons is actually going to transition during the 2021-22 school year and to being a dashboard option on the site. The dashboard is going to be the place where a student can find all of the work they complete on the Career Center and in Job Central, and also share that work with an educator for review and comment. And then manage the account is just where they can manage their accounts. So that's the California Career Center, virtual counselor, information resource, as well as a place to save their career information and make plans for the future. Job Central is linked to the Career Center, but it lives under its own domain. Job Central was developed and is provided as a resume creator for young people. It was developed with young people in mind, with the notion that especially high school students don't have some of the work experience or military background or higher education background that many resume creators assume can be inserted into a resume. So we've taken into account what a young person might have experienced that they could use in creating a resume. And we'll take a look at that in just a moment. A master job application, which is related to the resume, is the place where any job searcher should be saving all of their work-related experiences. So a master job application is the place where one saves all of their work experiences. It's a great way to keep track of who a supervisor was or who a contact is or the start-stop dates, and becomes more important as life goes on. When filling out job applications, it's an easy place to go look as a reminder about when did that job in the past start and stop. There's also 4 letter templates: a template for requesting an informational interview from someone, a cover letter to submit with resumes and job applications, a reference request for those folks that you hope will speak for you when you've applied for a job, and a thank you letter, really an all-important letter as you go through the job search process. The resume is set up in a really easy to use format where a student just follows along through a series of screens. They're asked to input personal information, profile, which asks them about what kind of their goal is and what a little bit about them as a person. It then has them look at experiences. There are prompts on all of these pages, and in this case, the prompt asks them to think about what are things they've done that have provided work experience, even if it was not in a paid or formal work environment. I think young people often assume they don't have work experience, when the reality is that many of them have done things, whether it's home or the family business or the community or church or clubs. There's a lot of things that they've probably done that have begun to provide them with experience as a worker. So they simply follow again the prompts to complete the boxes of information. You'll notice that on this first work activity, there's a section that says supervisor name with a note for master job application only. The cool thing I think about the site is that as students go through and develop a resume, they're also creating that master job application. And there's a few things such as a supervisor's name that one wouldn't normally put on a resume, but may be asked for as the job hiring process continues. They can enter as many work activities as they want and then choose which ones are on any given resume. They can eliminate them. And it's just really a great way, an easy way, I think, to keep track of all of one's work experiences. In education, we ask them to think about primarily, as we're looking at high school students, what their progress is towards in their current situation towards a high school diploma. That's the initial goal, whether they've completed it or expect to complete it. What is that situation? But we also know that students can earn certain certifications in high school. They can engage in dual enrollment to get some college credit. And so this education section asks them to think about and prompts them to think about all the kinds of things that count as education when one is seeking to enter the workforce. Then that all important area of skills with, again, a prompt to help them think about general skills useful in any setting, as well as technical skills that are useful in a wide variety of settings as they look for work. Then the interests and hobbies, especially for a young person, can be a helpful piece of information for a potential employer. Employers, when they're hiring young people, generally are aware that the job seeker may not have a whole big base of employment experience, but interests and hobbies may create a connection with an employer or be another prompt towards being able to see experiences that might relate to something that can translate into the workforce. Then thinking about awards and accomplishments, it's always good to show how one has been engaged and committed to whatever activities they're involved in and making the employer aware of that. References, as they will, if not included on the resume, be asked for at some point in the hiring process. You can see there's a page that'll show everything that's been put on the master job application. And then the view, send, print page is where students can choose a resume style. They can preview their resume. They can publish their resume. And in this case, that means making their resume available online. The site provides them with a unique personal URL that they can provide to others to view the resume. It comes with just a generic code number, but there's an editing pencil that allows them to personalize this link. So when employers are asking for a resume, it's very common nowadays, they just want to be able to see it online. So you can provide this link as a way to view the resume. And then this is also the page where the finished products of the information interview request letter, the cover letter, the reference request, the thank you letter can all be found and shared. So that is My Stuff Job Central. Oh, as I should say, so I think an easy way or a way to begin using My Stuff Job Central is to have students set up, again, the free, easy to access account and create a resume and share it with you. The prompts help guide them through the development of the resume. Hopefully, as educators, if you've walked through the site, you may have tips for them or things to look for. But it is, I think, a pretty easy tool to dive into and begin using to come up with that initial resume for engaging in job searching. And it's also can be included in college applications or other settings as a quick snapshot of who a person is. Lastly, I want to talk to you and share with you about the California Career Zone. The Career Zone is our most popular, most commonly and heavily used resource. It's what's known as a career information delivery system. It's an integrated system where students can take assessments, create a budget, explore nearly 1,000 occupational profiles with data from the Department of Labor's Occupational Information Network. We've also got salary and outlook data from California's Employment Development Department. There are a number of assessments. They can explore occupations as organized under industry sectors. They can create a resume in here. So let's just walk through the site a little bit. Where we've landed right now is inside a free educator account. This landing page looks similar to what a student would see, with the big exception being they wouldn't see management tools that are available at the top of the page. This free account enables educators to explore a number of professional development modules. They can create lesson plans. And they can also track the work of students. In the case of the free account, each educator can track up to 50 students, which I know seems like a low number, but this site covers the whole state, and students can be added to and taken from account management without impacting their accounts. So it doesn't have to always be forever the same 50 students. It can be a revolving group of students who are added and subtracted from management. It's very easy for a student to grant an educator access to looking at their work. You can see there's an educator code. In this case, this is my personal educator code. Every educator's code will be different. You provide student with this code, and on the educator page where the box says your educator code, in that case, on a student's site, it would say enter educator code. A student would enter your code and then be linked to you so that you could look at the work they are doing in the site. If you've got enough or plenty of educator accounts already, but want a way to review the work and discoveries the students are making on the site, every account comes with the option of creating a summary report. And in this case, you can choose what elements of work they've done on the site to share, whether it's one of the assessments or occupations that matches or a budget that's been created. And after they've chosen the elements of the site that they want to be shared, they can choose print, which generates a PDF, which then can be shared with you to review the work that a student has completed on the site. The three big two big areas of exploration on the site are found under Discover Possibilities that we'll explore in a moment, as well as explore industry sectors, which we'll explore in a moment. The big element of the site that's probably going to be changing a little bit this year, but will still be familiar, is this is where what a student's central account would look like. And they would find, well, in this case, as an educator, you're being reminded to engage in the educator training, budgets that have been completed, the interest profile that's been completed. You can also choose I want to, which bumps you to any place on the site. Again, for educators, there's content related to managing users as well as creating lessons. A student would only see all of the elements under due, where they could take one of the assessments or create a journal or add to their reference list, or even look at the Find a Job resources. Take a quick look at the section called Explore Industry Sectors. This has actually grown from only being the organization of all of the occupations on the site under California CTE industry sectors. That's still a primary element of this section. Again, students can find, if they're in a pathway at a high school, they can find that pathway and see what kind of occupational options are available for that pathway. They can also explore college options, just explore occupations generally on their own, or explore fields of study, majors, as well as explore certifications that might be available to them. Again, all of that under exploring industry sectors. Discover Possibilities is where users find the budgeting activities as well as the assessments and job application tools. So they can create a resume from here or business letters. What I want to do, I'll show you the budgeting activity. So students can create a budget based on living in any county in the state. And as I'm sure you're all aware, budgeting can be kind of a moving target. So I want to show you, I think, kind of a unique feature. We're going to go back. So if I was going to start a budget, I would be asked to make choices in regards to housing, utilities that I think I'll need to have available, how much I want to spend on a food budget, entertainment, clothing, transportation. I think I'll be renting a car, leasing a car or buying a car. Kind of health insurance will I require? Am I going to have some expenses after engaging in the education and training I want to participate in? And then will I want to be doing some savings? So you can see on this page here, it's the housing costs. So the options are living with parents, family, or friends, rent an apartment, buy a place of your own a place that is already paid for. The site provides amounts related to each of those categories, depending on the county that a student has chosen. But given the challenges of staying on top of the expenses in our current climate, you can also use other sources, and students can enter in amounts that may more closely match what is going on in the current moment. And then when they get to the final page, I'm just going to jump ahead. You'll see it summarizes all of the choices that they've made. They can choose to add other things to the budget. Let's say they've always dreamed of having a motorcycle or a motorboat or a pet. All of that they can add in, and then taxes will be calculated, giving them a budget. And by choosing view occupations, they will have the option of looking at all of the occupations that would support that lifestyle that they anticipate wanting to live. For those of you who used the site before, you will see, when you go back in, that we've actually updated the results page. So for any assessment that a student completes, or in this case for the budget, they're going to see a results page that looks like this, where there's the occupation title of an occupation that that matches their budget or pays more. There's an icon if there's videos. There's a little icon, it's a little piggy bank. In this case, because this was the Make Money Choices, every one of these occupations is going to have a piggy bank. There's a brief description of that occupation, as well as the common educational requirements, the median salary, and whether it's a growing or declining occupation. Again, for those of you familiar with the site, you'll see, I think, quickly that there's a lot more information on this results page than used to be the case, to give students some other tips or hints about an occupations that they might want to explore. I also want to show you, again, how quickly students can begin this journey and make discoveries related to occupational choices. So if I was going to provide a suggestion, which I am, about how to begin using the site, I would encourage educators to set up the free educator account to have access to the professional development modules. Then I would have you require students to set up the free account. Again, always available to them. Once they set it up, we will never take it away. They can keep it as long as it's useful to them. Then I would invite them to come in and complete the Make Money Choices budget that we just reviewed. And following that, normally for really diving into the site, I would have the student complete this interest profiler, which is composed of 30 prompts related to interests that helps them look at things they're interested in and how that relates to occupations. In the interest of the brevity of this workshop here, we're going to look at the quick assessment. That is an easier way, a quicker way, as it says, to jump into the site. So the user student just hovers over the elements of the pie for what's known as the Holland code, based on the work of John Holland. After they've selected 3 of the pie pieces, they view results, and then you can see a very similar results page to what we saw with the budget. And in this case, there's a small number of results, but depending on, again, the Holland code, there can be many more results. In this case, you can see all of them match the budget that I had set up earlier. So it's really a quick way for a student to think about future lifestyle, think about interests as they relate to work, and come up with occupations that match both of those categories. To take a look at one of the profiles and the huge amount of information that's available to them for their for further study, they can quickly see the average salary in California, And if they hover over each of these sections, they can get a little more information. They can see openings projected. Is it a growing occupation or a shrinking occupation? Job Zone talks about the preparation needed. Is it something that requires a master's degree, a bachelor's, a community college, or a professional certification of some sort? And there's a lot of information about the occupation, about it and what they do, how it relates to interest and work values. Also, they can, for any of the occupational matches, they can choose whether they thought it was, they like it or don't like it. As they work through the site, and the more work they do on the site, they'll start seeing compatibility measures for all these occupations, and are always prompted to create a resume at any point in time, to make journal entries based on discoveries they make, or develop plans for the future. Your opportunities helps them learn how to advance an occupation. So education and training looks at programs related to getting prepared for entering that occupation, or if it requires certifications, or if there are jobs. The site links to national employment posting programs, and so it just links directly toward those active sites. So that's all current available job openings as noted by these national posters. And the thought here is that a student, if they're interested in, for example, being an architect, to give them an idea of what would that look like right now. What do current architecture jobs pay? Where are they available? It also is part of the reason this feature, I think it's part of the reason the site is commonly used by the Employment Development Department, work experience programs, and college students, because it does link them to actual job openings. And so it can be one of the tools in the job search to help find options and opportunities. If a student digs in further and wants to find an architecture program, there's a description of what architecture looks like, and similar kind of majors and programs, and then they can actually find programs that have architecture as a major, or whatever the occupation is that they're wanting to explore and learn more about. As we're waiting for the colleges to load, I want to point out on the bottom tab, well, it just disappeared. I'm going to shoot down there on this bottom tab. You'll see that there's an option with a information guide for parents called Info for Parents. It's also helpful for educators to be able to get an overview of what the features and options are within the site, and better learn how to make use of the site. They can also choose to see the full site in either English or Spanish. Here you see quite extensive list of colleges that are available. They're colleges options from across the country, and similar to the occupations, there's a variety of information immediately available on the page. And then if they click on any of one of these college options, they get a little profile and overview of that college, as well as a direct link to that college opportunity. So that gives you, I think, hopefully a little picture of how California Career Zone can be useful to students and used by students. And so that, and hopefully some ideas for you of how to help begin engaging students. I invite you to, if you need to follow up and want more information, I think the easiest way to do that is actually all of our sites have information about how to contact us. But also, if you go into the About Us on our homepage, there's the program email and the program phone number. So if you have any follow-up questions after today, you may be able to find what you need by reviewing our resource guide, but please don't hesitate to reach out to us, or you can even contact me directly. My email is jmerris, JMERRIS, @cde.ca.gov. So I hope you find these resources helpful. I hope this overview has given you kind of a head start to make use of them. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out if we can be helpful to you in making use of these tools. Have a great day, and thanks for the work you're doing.